Very good evening to all. I welcome you all for the last day of our online SPSS workshop. Somu sir, now you can take the lead, sir.
Yes, sir. A very good evening, dear participants. I'm welcome back for the final day session on SPSS workshop. And today we are going to discuss about the important tool, factor analysis. Okay, this is one of the important tool which is much needed nowadays. So if you see many articles, and when your research works deals with your research model, so to confirm your factors, okay, almost all the research articles they are using this tool, factor analysis tool. So today we are going to discuss that. So before going to the session, I'll just recap for the what are the things we discussed for the past 4 days. So I hope that we have discussed 4 different tools, okay, on each day, right? We discussed about the multiple linear regression, and we discussed about one-way and two-way ANOVA, and Mann-Whitney test and Kruskal-Walliach test. And also we discussed about under which situations you have to use all those tools. Okay, as already I mentioned, all these tools are different from each and every. Okay, based on your variable and your research work, you can apply those tools. And also we discussed how to write interpretation for each and every analysis based on the output table also we discussed. Okay, so now with continue to that, today we will discuss about the factor analysis, which is very important now. Okay, so what do you mean by factor analysis? So generally when they will use for a factor analysis means, for example, in your research work you have 50 variables. Sir, I have collected 50 to 70 variables for my research work based on the literature review. Okay, and in that variable there are some variables will be similar, right? For example, take a safety measure, cleanliness, ventilation, hygienic factors. Okay, all those things, all this variable can be put it together as a one factor called working environment, right? Environment means what? Working environment means what? Definitely you'll have a safety in the particular working environment. Clean work environment should be very clean. It should be hygienic, proper ventilation. So all this variable, cleanliness, hygienic, safety, ventilation, all those things we can put it as a one factor under called working environment, right? Similarly, ESI, PF, bonus, incentive, extra perk, and so on. So we can put all this together under a one factor called a salary or pay scale, right? So when you're having 50 to 60 variables or 70 variables or more than that, okay, sir, I want to know whether there is any variables which is similar, or what are the variables or what are the similar variables can be put under one name, one factor, which will be the common variable name for all those 5 variable, similar variable. For that only we have to do factor analysis. Clear? Once again, I'll repeat. When you're having a more number of variables for your research study, and there are some variables which will be like similar. Okay, as I had already told 2 examples, there'll be similar variables. So we can put all those similar variables under the one factor name to confirm that factor. Okay, we do not know. Sometimes security or a safety, it may be depend upon some other factors also. Like if you take a cleanliness, hygienic, it is also depend upon the some other factor. If you are, for example, if you are taking security, the variable name security, okay, it may be related to their work or a job or some other else. Okay, so you don't know which variables can be put under which factor. So whenever you have a different variables, I'm just going to explore the variables and I'm going to find out, I'm going to identify which variables are comes under which common factor. For that purpose, we'll be using a factor analysis. And in simple terms, they will say that to reduce your number of variables into a factor. Right, sir, 50 variables I have, sir. No need to mention all the 50 variables because there are some variables will have the similarity. So the 50 variables, I can make it as under a 10 factor or 5 factor. So to reduce that number of variables into the small number of factors, for that purpose, factor analysis is used. If you want to say in simple terms. Clear what is factor analysis now? Did you understood what is factor analysis? If you have a more number of variables and if you want to reduce that variables into a common factor, okay, under that factor you can mention all those variables. Okay, you can ask, sir, what is that factor name? That factor name you should decide according to your research. Now I told you, right, cleanliness, safety, hygienic, ventilation. So all those things comes under the factor called working environment, or I can name it as a work environment, which suits for those variables. You cannot choose a factor name randomly. Okay, you have to decide after doing the factor analysis. You have to decide, sir, these are all the variables have the similarity that we can take it under this factor. That is depend upon research work. What is the factor name that you should give? It's depend upon your research work, literature review, all those things. Clear? So for that purpose only we will be using factor analysis. Sir, factor means continuous or categorical variable. Sir, whenever you are asking the questionnaire, definitely you will use like Likert scales, 5-point or 7-point scale only you will use. So it should be either a continuous or the ordinal scale. Okay, because you will be identifying categorical elements, you will have a category, right? 1 to 5. For example, you are asking under working environment, you are having a 10 variables. You are asking all the 10 variables to measure in 5-point Likert scale. That means 1 is strongly agree, 2 is agree, 3 is moderate, 4 is disagree, 5 is strongly disagree. Okay, so it comes under the ordinal scale or ordinal, continuous or ordinal. Okay, if you have that one, you can proceed, sir. Sir, each factor has equal number of variable. Ma'am, that I'll explain later, ma'am. Now I'm going to come to that particular factor only. Okay. Now after that, to reduce that, I'm just now explaining under which situation you can use the factor analysis. Okay. I told you, right, whenever you have a large number of each number of variables, to reduce that variables into the common factor, we are going to use a factor analysis. Okay. And this is a option where you have to do a factor analysis, analyze, dimension reduction, factor analysis you should go. Okay. Now see the next slide. Now in the next slide, there is an answer for the question now. You asked know how much each factor should have an equal number of variables. It is, for example, I told you, right, 50 variables. That 50 variables we can make it converted into a 5 or 10 factor. It is depend upon the our research work. Plus we can set the factor also. When we are doing factor analysis in the SPSS, there is a column to choose how many factors you want to explore for the 50 variable. If you are fixing 5, then it will show component 1, component 2, component 3, component 4, component 5. That is factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, factor 4, factor 5. Under factor 1, which are the variables you can have. So we can set the number when you are doing analysis, but make sure that when you are collecting the sample size for doing factor analysis, okay, you should have minimum 20 variable and 5 times of the 20 variable should be a sample size. Don't do factor analysis less than that. For 25 or 30, if you do, you won't get that factor loading. Rotated components table will not display. If you want, you can try in the factor analysis, because by using the rotated component matrix table, we have to get 5 output table from the factor analysis. In that, one of the important output is rotated component matrix table. In that table only, we will see which factor comes, which variables comes under factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. So if you want to get the rotated components output table, minimum we should have 100 sample. That means minimum we should have 20 variables. Don't do factor analysis with 10 variable. Okay, so minimum, I'm talking about minimum. Maximum you can have. Minimum to at least 20 you should have. And if you have 20 variables and you have only 25 sample size, so I want to do factor analysis, please don't do that. You won't get the rotated components output table. If you want, you can try. So if you're having how many variables you having, sir? For example, I'm having 25 variables, sir. 25 variables. I'm just saying that 25 variables. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, minimum 10 variables. Minimum 10 variables you can choose. Okay, if you're having it to 30 variables, so 30 into 5, 150 samples you should have. So your sample size should be 5 times of your number of variables. So better you prefer 20 variables. Okay, minimum 20 variables. For sample size I mentioned here. For sample size I mentioned 20 variables means your sample should be 100. So always prefer minimum 10 variable. So the second point is, for example, I quoted, sir. For example, I quoted. Second point is sample size should be 5 times of the number of variable. For example, if you have 20 variable, then sample size should be 100. For example, I quoted, but minimum is 10 variables you should have for do the factor analysis. So 10 variable students, at least minimum, you should have 10 into 5, 50 samples. If you have, you can able to do that. Okay, so this is the situations you have to use. Okay, there is no concept of dependent or independent. No need to worry about that, but all the variables should be interrelated. That's what I told you. See, ventilation, cleanliness, safety, hygienic, all these variables are interrelated among themselves under the common variable called working environment or work environment. Okay, right. So it should be like interrelated variables. Don't worry about that. This should be a dependent or independent. No such concept should be needed in factor analysis. Okay, because we need to confirm that factor. After confirming the factor only, we can choose which variables is depend upon the outcome variable. Like that, you can choose. But if you are doing a factor analysis, if you have a variable, okay, first start collecting the samples of 5 times of the particular variable, put it together in the factor analysis, do the factor analysis and find out how many factors it's divided. And then you go ahead. Okay. Yes, then for 40 variable sample size must be 200. Yes, sir. If you're having 40 variables, then if you want to get the exact output, definitely the sample size is very important, sir. Generally, when you are giving a conclusion for a study, we cannot justify that whatever the 10 people said, whatever 50 people said. Okay, majority, we need to cover majority respondent so that when we are giving a justification, it will be reasonable and it will be logic. So definitely your sample size is very, very important for doing a factor analysis. And any other doubts? Okay. Okay, now it is clear, right? Sir, we can divide variables into various strata of common variable. Yeah, but when you're doing factor analysis, don't take it that variable as a different, you cannot divide the variables for a different group. Anyhow, variable is a variable for your study. But when you are comparing, you could give a justification. This variables impact more in this situation or in this for this group. Like that, you can interpret. But when you're doing factor analysis, put it together and identify which factor, under which factor all these variables comes together. Okay, don't divide the variables initial stage itself before doing factor analysis. Okay, yes. So this is a point I told you. And another two important things in factor analysis, we have EFA and CFA. EFA means you are going to explore the factor. To confirm, that means you are going to explore the variables to confirm which variables are coming under which factor. How many variables are coming under how many factors. And confirmatory factor analysis means after exploring the factor, finally you will get one output, right? Sir, this variables 2, 5, 6, and 10 should come under factor 1. Variable 1, 3, 9, 10, 11 should come under factor 2. Okay, after doing a factor analysis, you will get an output table where you can confirm your factor. That is a one way you can confirm the factor, and with the help of that factor loading, there will be a column called rotated loading score will be there, value. Okay, by having that factor loading value also, we can say that which variables have a high impact on the particular factor. Okay, otherwise, if you have a research model already, sir, by undergoing a literature review, I identified that these 10 variables are definitely important. This 10 factor or 5 factor. These 5 factors are very, very important from a study which is already proved from the literature study. Okay, and apart from that 5, I'm just adding one more or two more factor only as an intermediary or as a mediating variable for the outcome variable. So in that case situations, if you're confirmed your factor based on a research model through the literature review, for that also you can do factor analysis and find out what is a factor loading. Okay, if you are already confirmed the factor, if you already know, sir, for my research study, I know that these 5 factors are very, very important. It is already proved. And one more factor I'm going to introduce as mediating variable or mediating factor for my input variable and output variable. And research model proves, already it proves, and it's again proved. And my contribution is I am going to add 2 more factor or 2 more variable, or I'm going to do the same research work, I'm going to use the same variable in a different context. Okay, in that situations, you can say that this is my confirmed factor for my research work. Okay, but most probably when you are doing a lot of literature review, okay, you will get a lot of variables, and since you need to show some contribution in your research work, definitely they'll ask you to go for exploring your factor, because your target respondents may differ and your location may differ, context may change, and then sometimes you may incorporate 2 or 3 more outcome variable or 2 or 3 more topic in your research. So all these things depend upon research. But whenever you have a variables, you have a lot of variables, and you have a doubt, sir, I don't know, this all the variables comes under which factor. I know that this 2 variable, this 5 variable will come under this factor only, but I have confusion with other variable. In that situation, better go for EFA. That means try to explore the factor analysis and try to find out which variables coming under which factor. This is what you have to do in the factor analysis. Is it clear now? So this is what EFA and CFA. See, in EFA, all the variables you will list, but you will not, you cannot ensure that, sir, variable 1 will definitely will belongs to factor 1 only. It may be reverse or interchange, like see, variable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 5 variables are belongs to product second factor also. Similarly, all these variables belongs to first factor also. So in that situation, sir, you can ask, sir, then all these 5 variables under which factor we have to put. Then in that situations, you can compare that factor loading value. I will show in the output table. If it is more than 0.4 or 0.5, you can compare. Sir, for factor A, variable 1 value is 0.4. But for factor B, variable 1 value is 0.5. Then in that case, you can put variable 1 under factor 2. No need to put under factor A, because when you compare the factor loading value, highest value is for factor 2 only. So if you put factor variable 1 under the factor 2, then it shows a high impact. Okay, so like that, you need to confirm what are the variables comes under which factor. After that, now your factor is ready. So after exploring the factor and after finalizing, then you can confirm that, sir, factor 1 working environment belongs to 3 variable: cleanliness, safety, or hygienic ventilation. Second factor 2, like that you can mention. Okay, salary package or pay scale. What are the pay scale, like incentive, bonus, ESI, PF, or extra perks? Like that you can confirm. Okay, and then after confirming and identify what is the factor loading for variable 1, variable 2. Factor loading in the sense is in the rotated component matrix output table, you will have the value. I will show that output table. From that you can interpret, sir, the variable, first variable, cleanliness, have high significant on the working environment factor, and hygienic is moderately significant on the working environment factor. Like that you can interpret for each factor. Okay, now is it clear what is EFA and CFA? By seeing this picture, you can have a clear idea, right? If it is clear, now we'll move to the next thing. Okay, fine. So this is what I told you. Just for an example. Okay, they are having a variable called intelligent quotient. Like they have a numerical intelligent quotient, spatial, verbal, and which all the variables comes under which factor. Like that, they can go for a identifying the factor. Okay. Now I will show this is all the same explanation. Now I will show that output call tables. See, there are 5 output tables you need to get from factor analysis, and for each table you need to interpret. Okay. Now I told you, write confirmatory factor analysis. Okay, sir, I don't want to explore my factor. I know that for my research work, there are 5 factors are very important. It is already proved, and I'm going to add 1 more factor. That's all. In that factor, I want to know which all the variables are highly related. So in that case, what you can do, you can go for a correlation, right? In the correlation, you can select all the factor, take average of total of all the factor, and then go for a correlation. You will get this correlation matrix like this. Now you can see this part. All are showing a positive degree correlation compared to the other. See here all minus, minus, 0.4, 0.2, 0.0, minus 0.3. Similarly, here also the same thing. So this first three questions, okay, the first three questions having a highly related to the first factor, which is already you are confirmed. Now you got you're in this example, there are three factors. So first three questions, first three variables belongs to the first factor one. So in that first factor, see which variable is highly influencing. Third one, right? Third and the second one. See, question 2 and question 3, question 3 and question 2. So the second and the third are highly related. And similarly, the first one also next level. Almost all the three variables are highly related for the factor one. For example, I told you work environment, right? Work environment, I told many things, hygienic, clean, safety, all those things, ventilation. Now in that among 4 or 5 variable, I'm saying that, sir, hygienic, cleanliness, ventilation, 3 is highly having impact on work environment. Okay, like that you can confirm your factor. Okay, and similarly for the second, see the variable 4, 5, 6. What is the correlation? 0.85, 0.82. That means almost 85%, 82%. All these variables are highly related to the second factor. Similarly, the third one. So if you want to go for a confirmation factor analysis, okay, once if you are confirmed with all your factor based on the literature review and through your research model, you are 100% sure that, sir, this is the factor will come for this research model. This is the variable will come under this factor. You already you are 100% sure, and you got everything proved. You are justified through your literature review and research model. Means you can show this. You can show this correlation matrix, and you can go for a confirmation factor analysis. Okay, you can say that my model is fit. Yes, sir. You can unmute, sir. Parul Gautam, sir. You raise your hand. If one variable is related to two factors, that's why, sir, if one variable is related to two factors, see that the factor loading value, for which factor the factor loading value is high. I'll show the output table. In that output table, you can compare which factor loading value is high. For that factor, you include that variable. You will get it. It is not that all the variable you will get two value for the two factor. Few variables you will get. In that case, you have to see the factor loading value. For which factor the particular variable has high factor loading value. For that, you can add that variable in the particular factor. Is it clear, sir? Sometimes you will get like that. Now the example I'm going to show, no, in that many variables are like that only, because already I told yesterday, I told you on 32 questionnaire, no, already it's like a cooked raw data. Okay, it is not properly. They confirmed the factor and they started doing that. But I taken that as an example and I just worked out and I showed you how to do the factor. Okay, is it clear, sir? Or will go them, sir? When you're having if one variable is related to two factor, okay, under which situations you have to select which factors the particular variable go, it's depend upon the factor loading value. You have to compare the factor loading value of the two factors and in which factors that particular variable has high factor loading. In that factor, you add this variable. Okay, yes, sir, fine, sir. That is the confirmatory factor analysis. Okay, and for the exploratory factor analysis, okay, we are going to explore the factor analysis, right? I don't know, I don't have a confirmation that whether this variable comes under factor 1 or factor 2. Sometimes if you see logically and if you see literature review, in some article, they will use the same variable for two different factors also. Who knows? Maybe it's depend upon the target respondents, right? So in that cases, you can use exploratory factor analysis. So after doing exploratory factor analysis, we need to give an interpretation for 5 output tables. See what is that in exploratory factor analysis. I told you, for example, there are 16 questions are there, 16 variables are there due to job satisfaction or client satisfaction. And how 16 variables will be clubbed together under how many factor? Either 16 questions, how 16 variables can be divided into 4 factor or 3 factor or 5 factor. So to calculate how many factors that will divide, and also which variables are having a similar, those variables will come under a one common factor. So for that purpose only, we have to use a factor analysis. All these things I explained initially, right? The same theory part is there in the PPT with examples. That's it. Okay. Yes. Now this is how you have to run the factor analysis in SPSS. Analyze dimension reduction factor. Okay. And after doing a factor analysis, see all the variables. For example, 20 variables are there, right? All the 20 variables should be selected here. Okay. And then if you choose descriptive, ensure that initial solution coefficient should be enabled. Put the tick mark for those 2 options. And extraction method should be always principal component, that is standard. There, screen plot, you have to set screen plot. I will maximize this slide. Wait, you can, the screen plot will not be there, it will be disabled. You have to choose screen plot, because second output table is what we need to choose a screen plot. And then eigenvalues should be equal or greater than 1. Most probably greater than 1 only we need to take. Okay, and here maximum itergens for conversion. Now you can choose here. I told you, right, sir, how many factors I want to divide my variables. For example, sir, 20 variables I want to divide into 5 minutes. You set 5 here, right? You can set 5 here. No, sir, I need only 4 factor. You can set 4 factor. Otherwise, no need, sir. I'm not going to set any maximum iteration. Let it factor analysis. Let it the SPSS do the analysis and give us output. Let's see the output. From that output, I can choose how many component, how many factor it gives. I'm not going to set any, means it is your choice. If you want, you can set. If you don't want, leave it. Okay. And here factor analysis, and then the rotation. The third option, rotation, no. Varimax. You have to choose Varimax. And then rotated solution. Rotated solutions we need to choose. And then the third option, fourth option, there is nothing to choose in the score. Fourth option should be option, right? Option. Here exclude case pairwise, and you choose both sorted by size, suppress small coefficient. After choosing this, after putting a tick mark, it will ask you what is the value you are going to set. For example, I told you, right, when you are doing the factor analysis, all the variables will be listed, and the right hand side 4 different column, which indicates factor 1, component 1, component 2, component 3. That is factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. In that factor 1, factor 3, which value you want to take? You want to take more than 0.4, more than 0.5. That setting that value, no, you can set here. And sir also asked that, sir, if one variable as included in a 2 factor, in that case, what is the situation? Means I told you, in that case, you have to see the factor loading value. That factor loading value we can set, sir, in the table. If I'm getting whatever the value I'm getting for the variables, if it is more than 0.4, I will choose the variables under the particular factor and I'll use it. If you are getting less than 4, I will remove the variable. That variable is no need for your research work. You can remove. So that value, that absolute value, you can set here. For example, they set here 0.3. Better you can set 0.4 or 0.5, so that you can justify that these variables are highly influencing your research. So here you can set absolute value. When you will get this means after clicking this suppress small coefficient. How could we decide, means? Ma'am, deciding is most probably 0.4 or 0.5 is the standard value. 0.4 or 0.5 is the standard value. But don't go beyond, don't go less than that. Okay, eigenvalue should be one, more than one. That is standard. If you study that the statistical basic parts, eigenvalue, beta coefficient, standard, unstandard coefficients, they will mention that value should be one, more than one eigenvalue. Okay, and here the number of maximum iteration I told you, no, it is also depend upon our choice. If you're not giving anything, no problem. The output table will give you how many factors you need to divide. And the factor analysis here, the absolute value better you can fix 0.5. Okay, so 0.5. Go ahead with 0.5. No need 0.4 also, because some research they are used 0.4 also. That's why I told 0.4 or 0.5. But maximum they will use 0.5. If any value 0.5 or more than that, they will take that particular variable under the particular factor. Any variable less than that, they will remove that, because that variable does not going to give any impact for the research. Okay, so you can leave that. Okay, is it clear now? So these are the output table. These are the options that you need to give it. Okay, clear? Yes, fine. So next, yes. So after doing the analysis, after choosing all those things, you will get 5 output tables, sir. Okay, in the for 5 output table, we need to write the result. So the first output table is total variance explained. This is the first output table you will see. From this table, see the total value, initial eigenvalue, see which are all more than 1, 4. That means your variables, all your 16 variables are converted into 4 factor. If you convert the 16 variable, if you reduce 16 variable into 4 factor, that is good for your research. That is what it is explaining. That is what the explanation of eigenvalue. If see component 1, that means factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, factor 4. That means all the 4 factors are getting the value more than 1. See the 5th factor, 86. Nothing is going to happen, because why the 5, 6, 7 is the C, 16 also is the why, because this I will tell you. See here they kept 25 factors. That's why it is continued, but I just cut short and I given only this. So whichever the eigenvalue is more than 1, you can choose that my variable is going to come under only that much factor. So for that purpose only, you have to get output table 1, total variance explained. This is the first output table, which indicates your eigenvalue. That means which indicates how many factors are possible. Okay, how many factors are possible plus how many factors will be good. This is the first output table. Clear? Here in factor analysis, output table is very, very important, and you should interpret all these 5 output table. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the first output table. In the first output table, you have to see the initial eigenvalue, the total value, and ensure that how many components. Here component 1, 2, 3 is like a factor 1, 2, 3. How many components are having more than 1? Okay, what are the components having less than 1? You don't take that. You omit all those things. Then whatever the component having more than 1, take that. That is the number of factors that you are going to have for your research. Is it clear now? See, I told you, right? Component stands for factors, sir. Like you can take it as a 1 factor, 2 factor, 3 factor, 4 factor. Component 1, 2, 3, 4 indicates factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, factor 4. Now see, from the previous output table, how could we say that, ma'am, by seeing the eigenvalue, ma'am, by seeing the eigenvalue, I told you, right? See the eigenvalue. See, in the previous example, the previous screenshot, I told, right? For example, you are fixing the maximum number of factors at 10. Okay, it will show in the total variance table, it will show all the 10 component. But in that 10 component, it proves that whichever the component is having a eigenvalue of more than one, that much factor you can take for your research. That much factor is good. They are saying that, they are suggesting that that is good. See, you are having 20 variable and you are making the 20 variables into 10 factor. What is the use of that? Right? Better you can go with that 20 variables itself. So you to reduce that variables into number of factors. For that, you have to confirm the eigenvalue. Yes, sir. If there are 8 factors having more than one value, you can take. Not a problem. That's why that means your research is very, very strong, and the variables that you are using for research is absolute, perfect, validity, reliable. So okay, I told you, right? The variables are factor which you're using for your research work, which is going to give a very good output. That shows the quality of your research work. Okay, but if you cannot say that in all the cases it happens like that. It's depend upon the topic, depend upon the domain which you are using into doing a research. Okay, it is not that in all the research you will get the. There are some topic, there are some area where you cannot able to find the review articles itself. Maybe the new topic, maybe the trending topic. So in that case and all, if you want to decide about more factors, you cannot get it. Where you will be finding difficult to get the variable itself in such cases. Okay, that's why I told you, when you're getting a variables, you can reduce those variables into a small number of factors. That means the factors which is apt for a research. Okay, if there are 8 factors, no problem, you can go ahead. That means you have a very good literature review papers for your research area, and there are a lot of studies there. Okay, is it clear, ma'am? And Deblina, ma'am, is it clear? Okay, fine. Now this is what the explanation. See, there are 16 variables are there, and all the 16 variables are reduced into 4 components. That means which are all having an eigenvalue of at least one or more than one. Okay, that is what is first output. Now the second output. See, the second output is a screen plot, right? So from the screen plot, you can see the variables from one, no? So see the 4 component. That means whatever the variables presented placed in this area, that means you can make it as a 4 component. Again, from this, it gives that another justification. Better all your 16 variables can be reduced to 4 factor. From the screen plot, you can identify more than one. These 4 components are more than one. So these are all the strong factors which support your research for the maximum level. These are the factors are very, very weak factor. Doesn't have any impact for your research work. That means that much interest, that much impact will not give. That is what the meaning of the screen plot. Is it clear about the screen plot? Shall we move on to the next output table? Okay. Now the third one is commonalities. Okay, the third output table is commonalities. So here, see, wait. Commonalities, see, all the variables are there, right? And all the variables initial value should be 1, 1, 1, 1. That is eigenvalue should be 1, 1, 1. See the eigenvalue. Okay, and this is what the extraction, that is factor loading value for all the variable. Okay, now there they set 0.03. No, I told you, right? I'll go to the previous slide. Here we set no 0.30. Okay, and see this table. There is no value equal or less than 0.30. Suppose if you are fixing 0.4, 0.5 there, then see the second variable. This variable you can remove. and this variable you can remove 0.497. Okay, from this also we can conclude, but don't give a final conclusion from this commonalities. It is just to show that what is the factor loading for each variable. Sometimes the second variable may be applicable to the second factor also, or maybe for the third factor. That's why we need to confirm the factor after seeing the rotated component matrix output table. Okay, this is the commonalities which explains you about the yes, factors having high eigenvalue will have a good extraction. Yes, right now, right, because we are going to take only those factors. That means those factors will influence the high on your dependent or independent variable or outcome of your research work. Okay. Now, after this third commonalities output table, fourth one is a component matrix. Okay, component matrix, which is also called as a factor loading. Okay, in factor loading, see this table. Now see. Okay, this is the, see, 4 component is there, no? So all this variable, all this 16 variable has given the value here. Now see 0.6646. So we can take this first 4 variable as a component 1. Okay, that we can confirm with the next rotated component. And see 0.302 here 0.30. That means the same variable applicable to factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. But for which factors it is most relevant? For factor 2 only, not for the factor 1 and factor 3. Factor 3 it is negative. Factor 1 it is very less compared to the factor 2. Okay, so like that you can know the factor loading. Okay, among this, which one is having a high impact? For factor loading, this is the fourth output table, component matrix, which items measure which factors. To know this factor loadings value for each variable, we need to get this output 4 component matrix. See, this indicates what is the factor loading, highest factor loading for each variable. Okay, now the final output table is, this is what the final output table. Now this output table gives you very clear picture about what are the variables should come under which factor. See which variables measure which factor. Now see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means variable 16, 13, 17, variable 2, variable 9 can be come under the factor 1. And see the factor 2, which are the variables are having a factor loading? Variable 3, 1, 5, 20. That means all these 4 variables can come under the factor 2. Similarly, under factor 3, this variable can come. Under factor 4, this variable can come. So you confirm this factor now. There are 4 factors out there. Now, after this rotated components matrix, you have to give a factor name. Go for a confirmatory factor analysis. For example, see this, all this 5 variable talks about clearly how much application process, information regarding my unemployment benefit, answer the questions on unemployment benefit, clear information about, and clear to me what my rights are. What we can have is, for example, all these variables talks about some information, source of information. Take that as a source of information. Now, after from the rotated component matrix, your final confirmatory factor analysis table should be factor 1, sources of information. You should mention the name, sources of information, and then the variables. List out this 5 variables. Mention this factor loading value. Yeah, no problem, ma'am. No problem. If one factor consists of 5 variables, other one is 3, it's not a problem. That's why you are giving a confirmation on the particular factor, right? Previously you will say that, sir, I'm going to divide 5 variables under each factor so that I will get equal variable. That we cannot give justification, right? Until it doesn't have any proof source. That's why I told you, if you already confirm the factor from the literature review, go for the correlation matrix for all your variable and find out which variables having which impact on each and every one. From that, you can give a confirmation. Otherwise, if you have a doubt, better go with exploratory factor analysis. Yes, sir. Item is same as a variable. When it comes under the factor, items are called as a variable from under factor. Suppose if you're not using any factor, only I'm using variables, okay, for my research, and I'm just doing a simple research work by using all this variable, and I'm going to bring independent mediating variable or a mediator variable, any other things means comes under the variable only. But if you are bringing all those variable under one factor, there it is called as item as well as variable, both are same. Okay, clear now? Yes, sir, you can use, sir, you can use. You can use. Okay, now see, I told you that this is a final output table. Now this is the first factor. So since based on this variable statement, I just mentioned the factor name as source of information. So factor name, factor one, source of information. List out this variable, list out the factor loading. After that, you can give an interpretation. So okay, in factor one, which is highest here? First one, application process. So the variable one in factor one, application process have high significance on the sources of information, and whereas 7.26 or next 0.708, 703, you can tell that moderately significant on the sources of information. Like that, you can interpret for each factor. So this is the first factor. Second factor, this is the second factor. Reception desk staff are friendly. Client's privacy. I feel I am taken seriously. The letters I receive an appropriate tone of voice. Regarding this variable, what we can have a factor, like we can have a client support, or we can have a factor name called support or guidance or help desk. Like that, we can have. You can decide that factor name according to researcher. Okay, so similar like that, you have to confirm your after this rotated component matrix. You need to create one more table, okay, mentioning the factor one name. Under the factor one name, the next column should be this variable, and the third column should be the factor loading. Below that, the second row should be factor two name and the factor variables and the factor loading. Like that, you need to generate one more confirmation factor table, and after that, you need to give interpretation for each factor based on this factor loading. Right? Okay, now is it clear? Factor analysis clear? This is how you have to interpret for all the 5 output tables. Any doubts you can ask me, otherwise we'll go for some sample data. Yes, clear. Okay, fine. Now, okay. So now I have a sample data. I don't think that this is a original data. It is like a put up data, because yesterday I told you one question or no. There are some changes I made, because when I working the factor analysis, it's not coming up to that level. Okay, and sometimes something I changed here and I made it, but they have a 32 variables. Okay, the title is factors affecting the occupational stress and its impact on employee performance. And they measured all these 32 variables by using 1 to 5 Likert scale. That means strongly agree, moderate, disagree, and strongly disagree. Right? Okay. So after doing this, KMO and botlets, I'll explain them because I missed there. But in the output table, KMO and botlets is also very important. I'll explain when I'm explaining the output now. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Yes. Now I'll stop sharing this. Now I'm not going to work out the entire factor analysis because it will take a time. I have entered the data. Okay, I will show that. Because if you enter data for 32 variables now, it will take another half an hour. Okay. Now I will share the screen. First, I will share the screen, that questionnaire. Okay, but that is a rough draft. I don't think that is a final questionnaire. I think you can see the questionnaire, right? See, this is what the title. Simply they frame the conceptual framework. They decided already. Okay, and then they started creating a different variables. See now. This is the questionnaire. Okay, initially when you are doing a factor analysis, when you are collecting the data for the pilot study, when you are giving the question to the respondents, don't put this factor. You delete this factor. You delete this column. Okay, you have to, when you are giving a questionnaire, you have to give questionnaire like this only. Okay, without mentioning the factor. See, you just give this questionnaire randomly. Generally, you just give all this 32 questionnaire without mentioning the factor name. Don't mention the factor name. After confirming a factor only, you can mention the name. So better, I'll delete this first. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Now 32 questionnaire is there, no? Okay, now this is the 32 questionnaire. So they given to the respondents and then they collected the data. This is the data they collected. Okay, now based on this data, I entered all this data in the SPSS. Okay, now I'll show I'll stop sharing this questionnaire. I'll show the SPSS screen. Okay, now can you see the SPSS screen right now? And this is the data. I'll go to the variable view, and this is the data I entered. See, gender, age, demographic factors I entered, and question 1 to question 32 I entered. Okay, question 1 to question 32 I entered. Right, I entered. See, I given the value for each variable. One strongly agrees on decided. It's like a 1 to 5 point rating scale, right? Interval scale. So we made it as an ordinal, and I mentioned the label name also, variable name also. Okay, I think it's very clear. The variable view is clear. Any doubts in the variable view? I think you can enter the data, because if I enter one by one, it will take a lot of time. That's why morning itself I entered and kept it ready. Okay, now I entered all the 32 variable. Now data view, see what are the variable I entered. It was displayed, and I entered the respondents also. Right, strongly agree, disagree, all those things I entered. Still 32 questionnaires I entered. See. Okay, now we go to the analyze. Non-parametric test, legal C dialogue, sorry, dimension reduction, factor analysis. Analyze, dimension reduction, factor analysis, give, click it. Okay, now what are the variables? So these are the variables, sir. Question number 22 to yes, up to this. Okay, and I told you descriptives, initial, coefficient, and the KMO Bartlett's test of sphericity. In the first option, descriptive, give initial solution and the KMO Bartlett's test of sphericity. That is very important. That is the first output table. I forgot to tell when I'm explaining. I told no 5 output table. This is the first output table for EFE. KMO Bartlett's test. Give continue. Extraction, scree plot. Okay. Sorry. Now I told no the fixed number of factor. If you want, you can fix here. Sir, I want 5 factor. Not here. I said wrongly. Not here. This fixed number of factor. It will be disabled. See, previously it will be like that only. If you want to set, sir, I have 50 variable. I want that 50 variable reduced to 10 factor. Then you can fix here. You can click this. You can fix 10. Otherwise, sir, no need, sir. I don't want to fix. Let the factor analysis itself gives me the answer. So that no need to give anything. In that case, give continue. And the rotation, vary max. Give rotation, vary max. Only that option you need to give under rotation. Give continue. Scores, no need to give anything. Option sorted by size, suppress small coefficient. Now I need 0.5 and more than that. Okay, whichever the variables having a 0.5, or more than the defined as the factorial loading, only that variables I'm going to take for my research. You can set continue. So you give continue, right? Or you give okay. Okay, you will get the output table. I'll share the output table. I'll stop sharing the SPSS. I'll share the output table. Okay, so the output table, this is a factor analysis. This is the initial solution factor analysis. I told you, no, we have to get 5 output table. Yes. So the first output table is KMO and Bartlett's test. Okay, KMO Bartlett's test. See the KMO value, it should be more than 0.5. So here 0.87 is there. That means your sample is adequacy. That means your sample is sufficient. Okay, you are collecting 100 sample, 200 sample, 500 sample. That shows that your sample is adequacy. Okay, and then significant 0.000, which is also less than 0.05. So this is a first output table. Okay, now the second output table I told you now, commonalities. See the commonalities. All the values are 111, like initial values are eigenvalue 111. See the extraction 0.959, 0.854, all are more than 0.8. Okay, we didn't get any value less than 0.5. Okay, we got 0.722. Minimum is 0.722. Maximum is 0.959. That is the second output table, commonalities. Third output table, total variance. Now see, now can you say that, sir, this 32 variables are reduced into how many factor? Can anyone? I told you to see the total values, no? Total eigenvalue, which component? Eigen, how many component eigenvalue has more than 1? 3, very good, very good. You got the point now. So the first 3 has more than 1. That means this 32 variables are divided into three factors only. See, there are 32 variables are there. But I told you, no, some variables I just cooked up. So all the 32 variables are reduced to 3 factors only. If you have a 3 factor, better. Okay, so like that you need to control. Very good. So now the total variance table is okay. Sorry. Now the screen plot. See the screen plot, which is more than 1. Okay, that point 3 components will be there. That we didn't set that. What is that? X-axis, Y-axis. That's why it's showing like that. And then fourth one is component matrix. I told you, right? Component matrix for the factor loadings of each variable, which is also similar to commonalities. And the last output table is the rotated component matrix. Now see the rotated component matrix. I set 0.5, right? Okay, now see the fifth variable, which variable it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th variable. See, 10th variable, one sir was asking, sir, if one variable is applicable or 2 factor, which one we need to take? Now see, this is a condition. Commonality is less than 5, you can remove that variable, sir. Otherwise, you can confirm here. Suppose sometimes I told you, in commonalities itself, we cannot confirm the factor because in commonalities it may show some less value, but sometimes when you're going for a rotated component matrix, that variables will be suitable for some other factors also. That's why you confirm the factor after seeing this final output table, rotated component matrix. Okay, now see the 10th variable is applicable to factor 1, factor 2 also. So you will have confusion. So then which factor I need to put there? Which factors loading is highest? For factor 1 only, this particular variable is highest. So put this variable in factor 1. Yeah, that is good. And similarly, the next one. Okay, and see. So up to this 16 variable, all first component. And after that, see the second component, second factor, this is high, and compare this and this is high. So up to this, from I have to maintain professional units to I'm getting enough time to send my obvious. Up to this is a second factor. And after that, C, which is a third factor, which is a greater than this one. Only these three variables are the third factor. Okay, so like that, we need to interpret. Now, I showed you the output table, right? Is there any doubts in the output table? I just already copied the output table in the PPT, and I'll explain the interpretation now. Is there any doubts in the output table? Is it clear now? If you have any doubts, tell me. I'll stop sharing this and I'll go to the PPT. Okay, fine. Now I'll share the PPT. In the PPT, what are the output I showed you now? Every output I have written here. Now see the first output KMO Bartlett's test, right? So 0.878. See, I told you now it should be more than 0.5. This is how your interpretation you have to write for the first output table. See, KMO is an index which defines a sample adequacy, and the KMO test value is 0.878, which is 0.05. That means this is acceptable and your data is valid. See the significant value 0.000, which is also less than 0.01 as well as 0.05. That means all the variables for your study is highly correlated, so that you can do factor analysis. You can go ahead to find out the factor. Right now, first output interpretation is clear. First output table KMO and Bartlett's test. You need to see the KMO Bartlett's test value. It should be more than 0.5, and significant value should be less than 0.01 or 0.05. Clear. The first interpretation, I already written the interpretation, because if it is not like if it is not then you need to choose some other variable, ma'am. If it is not then, definitely the variables that you have chosen is wrong. You need to go with other set of variables. But most probably it will give the point, because you are not creating the variables by yourself, right? How we are taking the variables? Are we taking variables by ourselves? How we are taking the variables? Through what we are taking the variables for our research work? Yeah, based on the conceptual framework, that is based on a literature review only we are taking. Yes. So when you are taking literature review, for example, when you are taking 50 variables, in the 50 variables, majority of the variables already proved, but we need to show our contribution, right? So in that cases, according to the trend or according to the changes in some other contest or a target respondents, we'll be adding a few more variables to give an added value for your research study. And you can say that this is my contribution, this is my research gap, and I'm going to prove this in this contest by taking this as a respondent, like that. So when you're taking a variables which is already proved from the literature review, most probably you will get this. What if we take entirely a new conception model? In that case, you can check the normality, sir. Normality and the reliability. We can check multicollinearity, because a new conceptual model, because I don't have idea that your guide will accept new conceptual model, because if you take new model to the guide, definitely they will ask what is the source of your new model. At least something should be already proved, or something. It should be the extraction of any other model. If you want to prove a new model, really it's great, sir. If you do that, it will be really it's a great. Yes, because nowadays all the guides are accepting to go with the new model. If you new model means, then we need to create a new theory further. For example, you're doing some research on motivation, right? If you want to give a new conceptual model for the motivation concept, you need to create some motivation theory. Already 8 theories already created. We have Maslow's theory, we have a Herzberg theory, we have ERG theory, we have a Maclean's need theory. There are a lot of theories out there, but we need to take a new conceptual model on the motivation. Means we need to create a motivation theory first, and that theory should be practically acceptable. Okay, so that process is it's a huge process. So if you develop a new conceptual model, it's well and good, sir. It's it's like a awesome work, and it's a great hats off to you if you do that. Okay. So I think the first output is clear, right? Okay. Now the second output. Second output, this is a commonalities, right? So I just copied the table. So since it's not in a proper way, see all the initial value will be 1111, and then extraction value will be more than 0.5 only because we set 0.5 there. So after this, you have tried the commonalities interpretation like this. First, find out which is the maximum extraction value. Maximum is a 0.959, first one, and the minimum value is 0.722. Okay, because by considering that only we need to interpret. Now I'll move on to the interpret column. So the commonalities. See, every variable in the commonality initially expected to share 100% variance. That means all are having 111. Okay, 100%. Eigenvalue is 111, so it is 100% variance. And then extraction value is ranging from 0.95 to 0.722. That means maximum there is a 95% relationship with the items, and a minimum 77.2% relationship with the items. So that is what the second output you need to interpret. Clear? This 0.959, 0.772 is the maximum and the minimum value of the extraction of this commonalities table. Is it clear, sir? Right? Okay. And the third output table is, this is the third output table, total variance. I told you, total variance which has a eigenvalue greater than 1. See the first three component. First one 27, second one 1, third one 1.2. So there is a possibility of making your 32 variables into 3 factor. So based on that, you need to write output, write this interpretation. See, total variance contributed by first component is, what is the total variance, percentage of variance? 81.452. So the total variance contributed by the first factor is 81.452, followed by the second component is 4.1, third component is 3.79. First you have tried the total variance. Then write the eigenvalue. Okay, total variance for the first component is 81.452, second, third. And the eigenvalue for the given factor measures, and all the variables are counted for the factor. And then it is clear that there are 3 components. If you're having a 4 components, then write 4 components having eigenvalue greater than 1. Or if you're having 8 components having a eigenvalue greater than 1, means you have to write 8 components. And then you have to list out the eigenvalue for 8 factor. Eigenvalue for factor 1 is this, factor 2 is this, factor 3 is this, factor 4, factor 5, like that you should write. If there are 8 factors, here it's only 3 factors, so I return the interpretation only for 3 factor. Now clear? The third output table is clear. Interpretation for the third output table. Any doubts? Okay, fine. Now the fourth one, screen plot. So see the screen plot, the same thing. Okay, so the eigenvalue is highest is 26, and the second and the third value, here it is a maximum eigenvalue. This is a maximum eigenvalue. Okay, and based on that, the remaining 3 factors are greater than that. Therefore, that is essential. The 3 factors are essential for our study. Like that, you need to conclude. Okay, you need to mention the component as x-axis and the eigenvalues y-axis. Factor 1, factor 2, factor 3 variables, right? Okay. This is the fourth output table, and the last one. The fifth output table is rotated component matrix. I told you, right? These are the variables I entered. This is what the value we got, factor loading for component 1, 2, 3, factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. Okay, now same table only in the next slide. I just marked like this. See, and this value is right, or factor 1. You have to take it as a factor 1. Okay, and this factor, which one is highest? This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This 10 factor, 10 variables as a second factor, and this, sorry, this one, it is wrongly marked. This one, 3 variables. This 3 variables as a third factor. So after knowing the, after taking this factor, segregating the factors in the rotated component matrix, your interpretation should be like this. I have written only for the 1 factor, but it should be continued for the next 2 factors also. Just for sample, I wrote here. Now, see the first factor I told, right? 8.842, 830, 2522, 78.147, 6847, like this. You have to mention all this variable. I mentioned all the variable here. I just given the sample, I return the factor loading, And what is the percentage of variance for the factor 1? This is 81.452, which is from the total variance table. And what is the eigenvalue for the factor 1? 26.06. Like that, you need to mention. Now, I had named as a workplace stress because the variables are I am feeling stress, I am not getting enough sleep, and then I am not able to receive any complaints from the patient. As I'm not able to, I'm not taking leave due to overtime. I'm not utilizing my break time. So these are all the factors which comes and which creates a stress for you. Okay, so that's why I mentioned the variable and I mentioned the common factor name called workplace stress. If you don't have a sleep also, that is a stress, right? And if you're frequently, if you're getting a complaints from the patient that you are not giving a proper service, this and that, if you keep on shouting, that is also a stress. And if you are not taking a leave, you are keep on doing overtime work, that is also a stress. And even the time which is given for you as a break, it is also not utilized properly, that is also comes under the workplace stress. Okay, so like that, you need to generate the factor name according to your variable and the research study. So like that, this is the first factor, right? And now the second factor is this one, right? So professional unit, I feel difficulty in immediate work setting, happy with my performance, time to fulfill my personal need, able to perform the assigned task, I perform well to achieve the task. So that means it talks about the performance, like, okay. So the second variable, yes, sir, I have taken sample only. Just I told you there are 20 variable, but for sample I wrote here. Okay, don't get confused. And second factor, this 10 variables are there. No, all these 10 variables, some things related to their task, all those things, work, this and that. So second factor, what I can do is I can name it as a second factor. I can name it as a work performance. Under that, I can mention all the variables and that particular thing. Okay. So like that, you need to, yes, sir, we need to mention all the 20 for the first factor. Yes. But here in the PPT, I just given the sample only. I include only 5 factor. But below that, I need to add 15 more. Since in the PPT, I cannot put it together everything. So I just made as a sample like that only you need to do. So after developing the factor like this, you should have a confirmation factor table as a single table. Okay, since in the PPT I cannot put together, so I just made this example. So below this, for example, second factor work performance, put second factor work performance, list out the variable, list out the factor loading, percentage of variance, eigenvalue. Then third factor, like that you need to put it in a single table, and like this you have to interpret for factor 1. See, the eigenvalue for factor 1 is 26.64 with this variation. Okay, the variables are related to what is your factor name that you need to mention. That means factor 1 as this is all these are high like 0.8. So they're having high significant loading on the variable called stress, enough sleep, complaints, leave utilized. Suppose after 0.8, you have some other variables with 0.7 or 0.6. You can mention it as a moderate significant loading on those variable name. And then if you have a 0.6 or 0.5 only we kept. If you have 0.5, you can mention a low significant loading. Otherwise, we can stop on the moderate itself because we kept loading value only 0.5 and above. So you may get only 0.876, 0.5 only. In that, you can differentiate. If you have a 0.8, 0.7 means high significant loading on all the variable, you have to list out along with the factor loading, and moderate factor 1 has a moderate significant loading on the other variables. Like that, you need to write interpretation for factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. So that's how you need to conclude your interpretation for factor analysis. Okay, is it clear now? So with this, the factor analysis over. So that day we come to the end of the session. So any doubts in the factor analysis? Sir, if you want to study the factors based on male and female, and you want to know which factors impact more for male and female, then how to conduct a study based on the different factors. Ma'am, you need to sort out the data according to the gender, ma'am. When you are asking the demographic factors, right? How many males, how many female, and when they are giving the data, you have to sort out the data. How many people said strongly agree, disagree? In that, how many are male, how many are female? Like that, you need to sort out the data and need to give a justification. You can conduct the study, ma'am. There's not an issue. You can conduct. Thing is, when you're giving interpretation, you can give interpretation which variables having a high impact on which factor on whom, male or female. That you can interpret according to your study. You can do that also, no problem. Sir, how to do the reliability test? Ma'am, that is we explained already in the first workshop. Okay, no problem. Just a minute. Can I show that? Wait, just. You got the PPT right now, ma'am. In that PPT, you can see how to do the reliability test. I have given the option where the reliability test you have to do. Wait. Oh shit. And now can you see this SPSS screen now, ma'am? Here, go to analyze, ma'am. Scale. Reliability analysis there, no? Scale reliability analysis. Choose that. Now, you have to choose all your variables. Don't choose the demographic factor. Choose all the variables. For example, these are the variables, right? 32 variables are there, like a 32 question are there. Choose all those things. Okay. And go to the statistics, put item, put scale. Sorry. Put item and scale. And then give continue. And give OK. Okay, I'll show that. I'll stop sharing this and I'll show the output table. Ma'am, now can you see that output table, ma'am? See, this is output table, right? Reliability analysis. So number of items means 32 variables you have tested. What is the Cronbach's alpha? 0.992. That means if it is more than 0.7, your data is reliable. Good. That's how we have to check reliability statistics. Is it clear, ma'am, now? Okay. Suggest any books, sir. Already I shared the materials with Bala, sir. He will share through the mail, sir.
Sir, that books are already shared with them, sir.
Yes, sir.
I sent them a mail, so everybody would have got the materials you shared, sir.
Okay, then fine, sir. I think it is already shared, so you can check your mail. So with that, just come to the end of the session. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we can wind up the session. So any queries?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, we need to set that 0.5 value in the absolute value below.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And why, sir, 0.5 only? Why not 0.6, 0.7 or less than that?
No, if you have more variables, okay, you can set 0.6, 0.7 also. Because if you have a less variable, no, even we are fixing only 0.6, 0.7, then whatever the values loadings you got 0.5, 6 also you will not take. So in that case, you need to reduce the variable. Then you will have only few variables for research work. So in that case only we can take it as a 0.5. That means 50% we can take. If you have more variables, you can set 0.6, 0.7 also, ma'am. If you want to make your research work good. But standard is they will fix 0.5 because when whatever the articles that you are reviewing, right, maximum you will get some 40 to 50 variables. Okay, but sometimes that some variables will not be suitable for our research work, for our targeted respondent. So in that case itself, some variables we will omit. And after putting the remaining variables in the factor loading, and you are having a high factor loading, and if it is not meeting that, again you need to reduce some 10 to 20 variables. And finally, you'll have only 5 or 10 variables. So to avoid that only, they are having 0.5 as a standard. Is it fine, ma'am? Sir, in case of assigning the variable as a scale instead of ordinal, the output table varies. Both can use interchange. Yes, ma'am. You can almost the scale, the ordinal interval. Okay, you can use, no problem. But if you use, you will get the perfect thing. Maybe point something they may vary, or some output table it may show some error. That's why I told you use perfect scale so that there will not be any error. And sir, I have a doubt on chi-square. What is your doubt, ma'am? Should we use chi-square when we know the pre-established value? What is that pre-established value, ma'am? Observed frequency or secondary data? Muted. Just a minute, ma'am. You can unmute, ma'am. Sivagami, ma'am, you can unmute.
Now, I would like to know, chi-square, sir. In fact, I don't know how to do that. In fact, I thought we need to know the established value, otherwise we can't do that. Is it right? I don't have any
Yes.
idea about chi-square.
No, ma'am. Established value in the sense is what you are talking about. Because in chi-square we have we can do with the one variable, we can do with the two variables also. But when you're chi-square dealing with the primary data, we can do whatever as per the SPC we can do. But when you're dealing with the secondary data, there is option to choose weight case.
Oh, only for the secondary data. Okay.
Only for secondary data, you need to choose that weight case. Then only you will get a exact observed frequency and expected frequency.
Okay.
If it is a primary data, no problem. As per the instruction, as per the guidance, you can do the same thing in the SPSS. You will get the value.
Oh.
Any other questions?
Arul Gautam sir, you can open up your mic and you can talk.
No, sir, it's okay. My doubt is clear, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Deblina ma'am asked a doubt separately. We can conduct the study for male and female.
Ma'am, it is depend upon your topic. Suppose, for example, if you're focusing on the woman employee, that it's focusing only on the female. Or if you're focusing on a general employee, they're coming under both male and female. So that is depend upon your the targeted response, right? And the title that you're choosing and the focused area. Normally we will do like that only, right? For example, if you want to do research on the students or faculty, we will take both male and female. Both male and female students. This is not like, suppose, no sir, I want to know only the working woman as a faculty, means then you're focusing only on the female. So you can do, it's depend upon your study and the title that you're choosing.
Any other queries from the learner side?
Okay, okay.
And I have given the link of feedback in the chat forum. So people can fill the link to get the certificate. Those who get the link filled, you can get the certificate. Fine. So I thank everybody for attending this valuable session for the last 5 days, and our special thanks to our resource person, Professor Somasundram also. Because without
thank you, sir. Thank you.
If we couldn't have get this much knowledge on this 5 days session, not only the knowledge wise, but also is committed to the extra time. But we committed for 1 hour, but every day we have taken somewhere around 1.5 hours. And I request in any 2 students to give the feedback, verbal feedback. Any 2 students can open up your mic and you can give your feedback. So you can unmute yourself and you can talk, no problem.
Just now I'm allowed, sir.
Yeah.
I tried before this, I wasn't allowed. The thing is, really, he is highly dedicated, sir. That's what I could say
Thank
for
you so much.
sure.
Okay, okay.
Highly dedicated. This type of professor we need to learn anything, because this is something completely new for me. But I'm able to follow him. He was very patient to clarify a doubt also. He doesn't even hesitate, not even a single moment. In any class, he doesn't hesitate to clarify a doubt. So I'm so happy that I have this type of professor for my completely brand new learning. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Sir,
you.
madam is from language department, so statistics.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
fine,
knows
fine.
anything about this.
Okay, okay, fine.
But I think you made it easy. Fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more learner, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Deblina Talukdar from West Bengal. So I have attended many workshops. Only 2-3 questions we are allowed to ask, but here we have randomly, we have asked you questions, and each and every question were easily sorted by you. So that's a very good part of this webinar. I mean the workshop, and the factor analysis. I have attended some more previous session, but there was a lack of clarifying the concept. So the way you have make us understood the concept is really nice. So we will love to join in further session that being conducted by Bala sir and you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
Fine,
much.
madam. Thanks a lot. Fine. Anybody else would like to tell something? You want to give feedback? Otherwise, we can close the session. Okay, fine.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Praveen, sir.
Yeah, sir. Proceed.
Sir, I'm Praveen Kumar from Bello. I'm a research scholar. I'm very glad to attend this section because sir is very patient in and polite in answering every questions that were posted in the chat. I think he didn't miss any questions. That's what that should be in our section. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fine, sir. We'll end the session.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I thank everybody for who attended the session and got benefited out of this 5 days workshop. But certificates would reach you, within a week. But kindly fill the feedback form. Welcome, Parul Gautam, sir. Be in touch. We'll be informing you about our forthcoming sessions. Okay, thanks a lot for everyone. Happy learning. Good night.
Thank you for all the participants. Thank you so much.